welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, and it does look like I'm going to be solo on this show. Obviously, with live events as they currently are, people ask me why I am not a Maple Leafs fan and why I'm a Wild fan. And I think the answer is pretty clear. Toronto sports teams, they choke. The fact that the Jays were up 8-1 and are now losing 10-9 is just remarkable. So why am I not a Toronto Maple Leafs fan? Because one Toronto team is enough for me, enough heartbreak for me. But we'll move on along, and it will be just me, it looks like. So I'm just going to break down tomorrow's football. Obviously, there's only lines for the Blue Jays game for tomorrow, but it looks like likely that game will not be happening. So I won't really give a cat for it. But with the New York Giants and Green Bay game, currently no bets for me. I'm looking at the under here. I don't really like either offense, and both defenses are pretty good. So I think we'll get a lower scoring game in the London game for that one. Detroit and New England. Why is this a 45.5? I'm not sure. But if you have looked at Detroit's games this year, they have all soared over 52. New England's last two games have also gone over 50. The total being 45. It's an over spot for me. The total should be higher. But I'm not exactly. I know some people say, well, it could be a trap with the total being so low. I think that's basically because New England's offense is not. They're not a powerhouse offense anymore. Probably on their third string quarterback, but he did pretty well. Almost actually beat Green Bay in the last game. So I think he'll be able to score. Detroit will be able to score. Detroit will give up points, and I like the over 45.5. With Pittsburgh Buffalo. It's a pass for me. Obviously, Buffalo minus 772 favorites, minus 14 in the spread. I'm not rushing to the window to back Buffalo minus 14 right now. Based on the last couple of games, they should definitely win this game. But minus 14 is a lot of points. But I do think they win the game against Pittsburgh. But no bets for me there. Miami and New York Jets. I think this is priced pretty correctly. I think Miami minus 3 is probably the right side. It will be Teddy Bridgewater playing for Miami. New York Jets have been feisty. It's ultimately not a play for me because I didn't feel super confident in it. But I think Miami does win the game. Atlanta and Tampa Bay. 10.5 now, which is awesome. That's kind of what I've been actually waiting for. I'm taking plus 10.5 with Atlanta. They're 4-0 against the spread this year. They're able to cover games. I know it's Tom Brady and it's the Bucs, but if you've seen Tom Brady this year, he has just not quite been his normal self. Tampa Bay wins with defense. Their offense hasn't really looked that good. I think Atlanta keeps this game close. I think 10.5 is too many points here. So I'm taking Atlanta plus 10.5. Seattle, New Orleans. I want to take Seattle plus 4.5. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get there or not. Follow me at Let's Go Wild Picks on BetStamp. And if I do obviously make the bet, you'll be able to get notified that way. I'm leaning with Seattle plus 4.5. I want to fade New Orleans off the London game, especially the fact that they lost that. I don't want to back them. But I'm not excited to go and back Seattle, who's just a really bad team this year. So lean with Seattle plus 4.5. Not sure if I'm going to get there, but we'll continue to look it over. Houston and Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a really interesting team. I've made money on them so far this year. Kind of the underdogs that nobody believes in, but they've made me money. But one stat that I really look at a lot is teams' previous history against other teams. So with Jacksonville, I was on them against the Colts because they've won 7 in a row against the Colts. They've dominated the Colts in Indianapolis. And I took Tennessee against the Colts because Tennessee dominates Indianapolis in the last 5 games or so. But with this one, Houston has actually won their last 8 games against Jacksonville, and for some reason just have a lot of success against Jacksonville. So despite Jacksonville being pretty good so far this year, I do like the spot for Houston plus the points. Most likely, I'm hoping it can move to Houston plus 7.5. If I can find plus 7.5, it'll make my card. Tennessee and Washington. I'm on Tennessee. Basically, for me, Tennessee's the better team here. Tennessee's going to struggle against good teams, but they've shown the ability to beat bad teams and are playing pretty well, winning their last 2 in a horrible division. I have Tennessee to win the division. I had them pre-season before the season started to win the division. I still think they do, and this is a game they have to win against Washington, a team who really should be 0-4 in my opinion, being 1-3 with that win in the first game against Jacksonville. But they're a really bad team. I think Henry and I think the Tennessee Titans get the win there. So minus 110, I think, is a great price. Chicago, Minnesota. Minnesota also coming off the London game. I think Minnesota wins this game. I do. But 7.5 is a lot of points coming off the London game, their first game back at home. Chicago's bad, yes, but I can't take Minnesota minus 7.5 in this spot. I just think it's too many points coming off the London game. But I will have their money line in a parlay because I do think they win this game. I can't take that minus 7.5. For someone looking at Chicago plus 7.5, I wouldn't talk you off that. I think they're able to keep it within 7, but I do think Minnesota wins. Chargers and Cleveland. I'm taking the Chargers here. Small favorites on the road. Cleveland finds ways to lose games. Yes, Cleveland has a good defense. Yes, they have a good run game, but their pass game is not really there. The Chargers are the best passing team in football, have the best passing offense. Herbert looked pretty good in his last game. I'm much more willing to back him and the Chargers and the Browns, who just find ways to be the Browns and lose games. I feel bad for Browns fans because it must be rough for them. But San Francisco, Carolina, another game here. I'm taking San Francisco money line in a parlay. I will have it with the Vikings money line parlay together, and maybe another team here I'm looking at. But San Francisco's defense is the best in football, I think. I would lean with the under 39.5 too. 39.5 is a really low number. I'm not really excited to go and back that, but I don't really like either offense, and both defenses are good. So I do think it's a lower scoring game. So I'll have San Francisco money line in a parlay, lean with the under. Dallas and the Rams. I'm not sure about this game. I think maybe Dallas plus the points. Haven't got involved yet. Dallas has made me money so far this year, and have found ways to win games, keep games close. I think plus 5.5 is too many points here for the Rams in their current state of play. So it would be a lean with Dallas. Not sure if I'll get there. Philly and Arizona. Philly's the third team I'm looking at for my 3-team parlay with Minnesota and San Francisco. The Eagles have just been one of the best teams in football. They're the only undefeated team. Arizona's defense is really bad. I'm not a fan of Kyler Murray. I'm not a fan of the Arizona offense. I think Philly's offense will be able to hurt the Arizona defense. So I do like a Philly money line in a parlay there. Go to the comments here. Bengals and Browns have same record. Yeah, they're both 2-2. That's fine. But that brings us to Cincinnati and Baltimore. I do not think this game is priced correctly. Cincinnati had no problem with Baltimore last year. 41 points, 41-21 and 41-17 in their two meetings against Baltimore last year. This Baltimore team has had a lead in both home games, but has choked both home games in the fourth quarter. I am absolutely taking Cincinnati plus 3.5, and I may have money on the money line as well. I'm not sure if Baltimore chokes this game because I think Cincinnati's leading going into the fourth quarter. I like the Bengals here. Seem to have found their footing in this Baltimore team. Like the Browns, is finding ways to lose games. So I'll be taking the Bengals plus the points and possibly the money line as well. And when it comes to baseball, no lines on the bottom three games. As I said, it does not look like there will be a third game with Seattle and Toronto, unless there is a miracle that happens. Toronto currently has one out, 1 ball, 2 strikes with Chapman up. So it does look like the Blue Jays season is about to come to an end, sadly for me and other Blue Jays fans. But we'll move on along to the best bets. A bit of a shorter show today, but that is totally okay. I'll bring everything up here. We'll bring it up. 1 second here. So we'll start with over-under, as we usually do. Me and Dave both have the same total. We're taking Detroit and New England over 45.5, minus 105. Tim is going Pittsburgh Buffalo under 46. For dog of the day, I'm going Cincinnati Bengals plus 155. Tim is going Washington Commanders plus 110. Dave is going Dallas Cowboys plus 205. Ryan is going Cleveland Browns plus 110. And then going on to best bets here. Go Wild, go Blackhawks. Well, I'll take the go Wild, but no Blackhawks there. Cincinnati Bengals plus 3.5, my favorite play of the week, minus 107. Tim is going with the New York Jets money line, plus 160. Dave is going Dallas Cowboys, plus 5.5. And Ryan is going with the Blue Jays money line, minus 128. They do have a guy on base now. Danny Jansen is on base, so a home run, and there will be a game tomorrow. If they're not able to tie it or win, there will not be. But it is a bit of a shorter show today, so I'm going to leave the bet there. If it's voided, it's voided, but we'll definitely see what happens. That is the show for tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. And we'll see you again Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. Other episodes, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The times may change depending on the playoff times when they're announced. So make sure to check the YouTube channel for updated times throughout the week. But best of luck on your bets tomorrow on football. And we'll see you again for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Have a good one, guys.